very warm welcome to you wherever you are watching us from. This is Dalsan TV English News. My name is Abdulrazak Ali. Let's have a look at some of the top stories. US Embassy extends passport services to Mogadishu. EU allocates 3.5 million euro in humanitarian aid for flood-affected Somalia, Ethiopia and Kenya. Welcome back to this edition of Dalsan TV English News. Now, the Somali leadership has unanimously welcomed Friday's decision by the United Nations Security Council to lift the arms embargo. The Somali leadership has unanimously welcomed Friday's decision by the United Nations Security Council to lift the final restrictions on weapons deliveries to the Somali government and security forces. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, Prime Minister Hamza Amdi Barre, parliamentary speakers and regional state leaders have expressed their application for the removal of the 31-year arms embargo, emphasizing the potential benefits for the government and its ongoing battle against the Al-Shabaab militant group. Additionally, the decision strengthens the government's ability to assume security duties from ATMIS and the AU forces in the battle against Al-Shabaab. Last month, Somalia commenced the second phase of military operation dubbed Black Lion in southern bastions of Al-Shabaab militants. The historic move will play an instrumental role in propelling Somalia to quench its thirst for peace and stability, as the leaders have echoed. Meanwhile, in a bid to provide assistance to American citizens in Mogadishu, the US Embassy in Nairobi's American Citizen Services has announced the extension of passport services to Mogadishu starting from December.
In a bid to provide assistance to American citizens in Somalia, the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi's American Citizen Services Unit has announced the extension of passport services to Mogadishu starting from December. This move comes as the U.S. Embassy in Somalia currently does not offer comprehensive consular services. Given the limited availability of services, the priority will be given to urgent cases. Applicants are strongly advised to provide detailed information when requesting an appointment. The deadline for securing an appointment is 4:30 on Monday, December 4th. To schedule an appointment, individuals can utilize the consular appointment request link provided by the embassy. All attendees must present a valid government-issued identification document for entry and will be subject to a security screening process. It is important to note that large bags and cameras are strictly prohibited inside the venue for security reasons. This initiative by the US Embassy aims to facilitate and streamline passport services for American citizens in Somalia. By expanding consular services to Mogadishu, the embassy aims to address the needs of the American community residing in the region. The extension of passport services will provide greater accessibility and convenience, enabling American citizens to fulfill their travel and identification requirements more efficiently.
Now, a landmine explosion in a small tea shop has killed at least one person and injured 3 others on Friday. A landmine explosion in a small tea shop in Hiran region killed at least one person and injured 3 others on Friday. There are reports that local authorities and security officials frequented the small, famous shop, but it is unclear whether they were killed by the blast. No group has claimed responsibility for the assault, but Al-Shabaab insurgents are known to carry out such attacks. The group has been waging a bloody insurgency against the Somali federal government for the last 15 years. Despite losing grip on central regions of the country, Al-Shabaab militants hold strong presence in southern bastions. The European Union (EU) has pledged additional humanitarian aid funding of 3.5 million euros to aid the people affected by devastating floods in Somalia, Ethiopia and Kenya. The European Union has pledged additional humanitarian aid funding of £3.5 million to aid the people affected by the devastating floods in Somalia, Ethiopia and Kenya. The assistance and support to the regions most impacted by the ongoing floods. In Somalia, the EU will allocate £2 million to provide urgent aid to the communities severely affected by the floods, particularly in Juba River Basin. This funding is an additional to the £5.5 million previously allocated to help those affected by the El Nino-related floods and displacement caused by the conflicts. The EU plans to launch a helicopter deployment through the European Humanitarian Response Capacity, starting operations in December 2023 and lasting for 2 months. This initiative facilitates the access to hard-to-reach areas in Somalia. Ethiopia will receive £1 million in EU funding, which will support existing humanitarian partners operating in flood-affected regions. The aid will be implemented through various means, including multi-purpose cash transfers and the distribution of shelter and essential items such as purification and treatment supplies. In addition to this allocation, the EU has already provided £2.3 million through its emergency response mechanism to aid in preparedness action prior to the floods. The total EU funding dedicated to addressing the recent and ongoing floods in Ethiopia amounts to £3.3 million. The EU's commitment to providing substantial financial support underscores its dedication to addressing the urgent needs of flood-affected regions in Somalia, Ethiopia, and Kenya. Well, that's all we have prepared for you. My name is Abdulrazak Ali. I wish you a lovely evening.